everyone. I was just about to start filming a 2017 release from Schmincke, so they had 35 new colors added to their range. More on that in a minute, but I just literally, before switching the camera on, managed to figure out how to get rid of this bottom palette, and I thought if I share it, maybe it will be helpful to some of you. So basically, I kept moaning that this palette is humongous and it's not user-friendly in any way. So I couldn't figure out how to get rid of this pin here, which basically kept it together. So what I've done is quite literally just band this bit, and that is if you don't want to keep it because it's now band up and it's going, I'm probably, well, I could keep it, there is nothing wrong with it, you know, I could just lay it like that in my palette, but just keep in mind that that's if you don't mind bending it over or tossing it all together. So I just bend this bit of the palette like this, literally, and then the pin bent with it. So after that, I just pulled it out and that was it. And keep in mind that this pin is super sharp on one end, so don't hurt yourself. For now, I think I might keep it, but I don't know. I mean, I always have these little palettes on the go to mix colors, and I may or may not, so I will decide later. But I am so happy now. The palette is quite a bit more compact, and when I film, I can literally just set it next to the sketchbook and have the colors on view so that you can see exactly what colors I'm using as well as the actual work. Okay, so that's that. So I counted and I listed down all of the numbers beforehand. So out of the 35, I have, let's see, how many was it? 18, which is quite a good number, I thought. And some of them come in a tube, and some of them I have in a palette in a half pence here. So basically, I have written them down as they come in the order in their catalog, which I highly advise if you haven't got it yet. When you do like a Jackson's, I buy my art supplies either on Jackson's or Amazon. So if I'm shopping on Jackson's, I always look out for their brand catalogs and like different art supplies ranges, and this is a very good one from Schmincke for their Watercolor Horadam aquarelle range, and it's so helpful. I'll show it to you in a minute as well. So according to how the colors are in that order in the catalog, I wrote them out, and this is how I'm going to swatch them. So I could have possibly arranged them slightly different, but I thought I'll just do it like that. And yeah, it's super hot here, so I hope I can get through this video. And just open the curtains a bit more. Right, so I have a sketchbook here, and in case you wonder what paper I'm going to use for my swatching, it's the Khadi Papers sketchbook, and it's a hardcover. I had it for years. I had it since the beginning when I started my YouTube channel, and this is my primary, or it was my primary swatching sketchbook. So I would keep art supplies by brands and kind of swatch them out. This is before I have added a lot more, so like Daniel Smith and Schmincke, etc. So it's not that accurate anymore, so to be honest with you, I just want to use it up. I have literally a few pages left, and that will be it. So these days I'm using other sketchbooks to swatch and experiment, so that's what it is. Okay, so let's focus on the catalog just to give you an idea what it looks like. I'm going to start with the yellows on this side. So here is the new color. Wherever there is a new little logo, it means it's the one of the 35 colors. Now, why did they add the 35 colors? Is to celebrate their 125 years anniversary, and they brought out some really beautiful colors. So I'm planning to use this double spread because I'm going to make big swatches. So if I have 18 colors, it means roughly 9 swatches per page, and this should be nice and big, I'm hoping. I know that some of you really like the big swatches as well. So I will start with my Schmincke half pans, get my water ready. Let's see, so we will start with Turner's Yellow. Actually, Turner's Yellow I have in a tube right here. So I think I will do 3 rows of 4 swatches so that I give myself a little bit more space on the next page in case I want to expand a few more colors. So here is our Turner's Yellow. So I'll try to lift a little bit from one end so that we have a bit of a gradient. So I don't want to go and dab it off with a tissue. I want it to be a bit more of a coherent swatch. So there you go, we'll leave it at that. Next color we have got Quinacridone Gold Hue. Oh, this one ran out a little bit. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. It has a lovely range. At the moment it comes off a bit streaky, but that's purely because I have way too much pigment here. So I'm going to try and lift it. So these colors are my favorite colors when they have a lovely range to them. I can go from something quite rustic looking to a beautiful luminous yellow. Next color we have Yellow Orange, which is, no, it's still in the tube form. There we go. Okay. Next color we have Geranium Red. Now this one is in my half pan palette. I made a tutorial using this Geranium Red. I'll try to link it up for you. Beautiful color. So the palette as you see it, if you're new to this channel, it doesn't come like that. I have updated it myself. I bought it as a 36 plus 12 empty half pans and spaces, so there were no half pans in there at all. And I could basically add my own colors, which I did and some of them are from the 2017 release. Next one is Quinacridone Red Light, which is this one here. Also very beautiful. I call it like a bubblegum pink color. All the quinacridones are always beautiful because they have this brightness and they behave really lovely. At its lightest and darkest. Then we have Transparent Red Deep, and that is this one here in the tube. Now that's a color I have recently bought. Also amazing red. Look at that. Isn't that a gorgeous red? It's a red with a punch. Beautiful. Also makes a super pretty pink at its lightest. And then we have Ruby Red Deep. Ruby Red Deep is the one in the palette here. So Ruby is a touch cooler, but very similar intensity wise. So this one is a warmer, this one is a cooler. At its mass tone. And then at the wash, when it's got more water in there, it makes a different pink. Okay, next one we have Quinacridone Purple, which is also here. That's this color. So this is a very, very punchy purple, and you'll see that in a minute. It's got a glow to it. It's like a magenta with a purple all together. There's like almost some sort of blue undertones that you could pick up. It's very difficult to depict this color. On the camera it looks more purple. In real life it's quite complicated. Very interesting color if you're into that sort of a thing. Then we have Cobalt Violet Hue, which is, where are you? Here we go. I think this may be one that was sent to me by Schmincke a while ago. So it's got a bit of gamma arabic separation. So what I'm going to do is just push out or squeeze out more color in that case, and then reincorporate it together with a bit of water into the color, into the watercolor, so that we get the right texture, and mixing the gamma arabic rather than taking it out. So this is your cobalt type of a color, quite creamy. So that's that. Then we have French Ultramarine, which is this one. Oh, I didn't see it escape. So what you can do if that happens, squeeze it on these other, on the sides of the tube, and you can see it has moved in halfway. So that way you don't waste them. The paint, that is. Okay, so this one is French Ultramarine. And I'm going to read out from the catalogue all the characteristics for each of these colors. We'll also look into the pigments of these colors once I have finished swatching. So for now, let's just enjoy the relaxing part of it before we dive into the information. So next we have Meridian. I was very surprised that Meridian was not part of their permanent line up to the point of 2017, because it is a color that's really quite useful in the mixing. So I'm super glad that they have added it to their range. It mixes some really pretty colors and tones with burnt sienna. Then we are moving on to color number 12, which is transparent green gold, and that is right here. Now, if you love your gold greens or green golds, check out this color. It's super pretty. It's also transparent. It is really, really pretty. It's kind of like a mustard toned green gold. It's got a bit more of that muted yellow tone to it, with some elements of green, but mostly it's like a mustardy type of a color. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next page. Let me just rearrange a few things. Okay, so we now have Rutile Yellow, which was one of the first colors I bought when 2017 release happened. It's very pretty. It makes beautiful mixes. I have a video where I'm mixing it, and I'll try to link it up for you. This needs more water. So compared to Turner's yellow, it's more light, more yellow than orange, and I think this is what it says in the description in their catalogue. I'm just trying to lift a little bit on one end here. Okay, transparent sienna. Beautiful color. If you are into your siennas, it's worth checking this color out. It's very pungent, full of pigment, with the benefit of being transparent. I'm going to lift it from the end just like that. Next color is Maroon Brown, so these are our brown colors now. So this is a lovely granulating color as well. Then we have Mars Brown. First of their Mars colors I discovered was their black Mars. I fell in love with it so much that I then later also added the brown to the collection. There we go. Right, next to it we have Perylene Green, which I actually have both in a tube and a half pan. It's a beautiful Perylene Green, very stable. I mean, in fact, all of them are very stable, reliable colors. No surprises from tube to tube, at least I haven't had any. I absolutely love their half pans. They're just the creamiest out of them all out there. Compared to their competitors, and yeah. Last color from my collection is Mars Black. This is beautiful. It's such an interesting mixing color. You can, because it doesn't have a strong black base to it, it means that you can create some really interesting mixes without dulling too much of the other colors. Yes, it will become more of a dusky type of a color, but in a beautiful way, not in a dull way. And it will also then add the benefit of Mars Black, which is this insane granulation that makes it look like a planet, like a surface of a planet, and it's just stunning. So these like granulating colors, they come through a lot better once they start drying. So we'll have a look. While this is all drying and relaxing, what I will do is I'll just write down the pigment numbers and the names, obviously, and then we will look closer at every color and start talking about the info, and I will read out all the explanation to the colors.